So, welcome back to Rare Imports, our Blades in the Dark game, where our gang of thieves, our crew, are you guys thieves or shadows? Is that the term?
The official term is shadows, but
Shadows.
the subcategories are thieves, spies, and saboteurs. And
Right.
I think we can safely qualify ourselves as thieves at this point.
Seems likely. Okay, so our little crew of thieves we really had some big adventures last time, didn't we? Let's see. So you got a loyal fence. Vupont Dunlevel, is that right? Dunvillel?
Yes, Vupont Dunville.
Vupont Dunville. Oh, yes. I added an extra L at the end for fanciness. No, Vupont Dunville is your loyal fence that you guys picked up as your... was it a turf thing?
So
Or an
we got
upgrade?
that for... no, that was a turf thing. And yeah, we acquired his services after after moving some drugs and other things for the Lampblacks, I think it was.
Right. +2 coin for burglary or robbery. That's pretty awesome.
But we didn't get a chance to act on that because we went to war with the Spirit Wardens.
Yes. So last time was resolving the war with the Spirit Wardens. Which you've now got them back down to just -2 relationship.
So they only mostly hate us.
So they only mostly hate you. Exactly. They only mostly hate us. Yeah, well, they were kind of the manifestation of the war was kind of them constantly harassing you, trying to raid your lair. You were in very great danger of just getting arrested and dragged off to their secret island. Or do they have an island, or I think they just have some just like a lair on the fancy people island. It's sort of a mansion. Yeah. And let's see. In order to placate the Spirit Wardens, you did a score following up on a rumor. Let me see if I can pull that up. Number 18. Polonia. Oh, it's actually here on the... I put it on the...
Yep.
On the kind of... the table in the middle of the lair. Yes, number 19 or 18, the Polonia Cleland rumor. You captured her spirit and turned her over, and then also turned over the alchemic knife. Or are you guys still hanging on to that?
If I remember correctly, we gave Dredge a day to investigate the knife, and then after that we turned it over not to the Spirit Wardens but to the flame demon that's been following us.
Ah, yes. So you probably could have appeased the Spirit Wardens more, but you chose to just kind of at least end the war with them for that whole score. That was the main reward for the score. You didn't really get any money out of it.
Yeah, we got a little bit of money, but not much.
Yeah.
Basically enough so that we could pay off the people nearby.
Yeah, the more powerful gangs that control your area. But you got a little bit of money, but the main reward was that you ended the war with the Spirit Wardens. And yeah, some interesting stuff happened with what was his name? Karamon? Karakon. The demon. The fire demon that has been giving you quite a bit of interesting time lately. And I think I believe there was wasn't there a devil's bargain where Karakon would come back again?
Indefinitely.
Yeah, I think that was the case. So you're still not rid of him, but you have resolved the whole everything on fire thing.
Yes.
Because he got you out of there and also ended the flames that he had somehow activated all of your items. And they were burning in the spirit realm. So that led to a lot of interesting problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I think it is downtime. Let's see, did we roll entanglements last time? I don't think we did.
It doesn't look like we did.
I don't think we did. We didn't get all the way through. We didn't get all the way through downtime, a second downtime. So yeah, we ended the score. That was a big score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did payoff, and part of that we did heat, I think.
Yes, we did do heat, and we are now wanted.
Oh yes, that's right. So
We are at level
the
1.
perfect way to kick off this session. You guys are back home, licking your wounds. You give Dredge a day to study the alchemic knife, and then you build a small altar and burn it, and it vanishes in a column of smoke, in which two white-hot eyes appear as the burning gaze of Karakon accepts your exchange. That he seemed to feel that you owed him. And with that done, what else is going to happen? So, who wants to roll? Who wants to roll for entanglements?
Oh, I guess I can.
So, you have 1 dice per wanted level. What's your... you guys are wanted 1, so you have 1 dice. And what's your heat currently?
1.
Okay, so you became
One
wanted.
advantage of becoming wanted is that it clears your heat.
It's a little alarming because it means that your faces will be circulated among certain parties. You're known. You're a known quantity. You're wanted.
I already have one character that went to jail for this group.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he came back. Except he didn't.
He could have come back. He chose not to.
So you guys have heat 2 or something?
Heat 1.
Heat 1. So it's going to be 1 die, but it's only going to be on the least bad entanglement column. So who's going to roll it?
I'm rolling it. So how many dice do we have? We have one per heat level and one per wanted level?
No,
Or
it's
just
one per
wanted?
wanted.
It's just one.
Okay, so it's just one die.
Yep. Up until now, it's always been 0 dice, so we've been picking the lower of 2.
Right. Okay, 4.
4. Interesting. You guys didn't kill anybody?
No, we did not.
I don't think we really even interacted with anyone who was alive, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely made some noise because we destroyed a spirit well.
Okay. So, this is... so as you guys are kind of licking your wounds, so to speak, and figuring out what you're going to do with your off time, since you're not going to be actively on the job for a little while. Ulf Ironborn contacts you. Now this is he's kind of a important figure among the Skovlander refugees that have taken refuge in the city of Duskvol and behind its eternal lightning walls. Ulf is trying to kind of help them unionize in a sense. And there's a lot of violence and kind of tensions between the Skovlander refugees who mainly want employment and to get ahead, and people who want to either take advantage of them or just want to run their businesses without being beholden or under the or dealing with any unions. Ulf seems to be taking exception to the recent job that you guys did involved with some Skovlander refugees and a certain cache of occult information, as well as passports and other identifying papers that Ulf seems to think, Ulf Ironborn lets you know, should have been properly maybe handed over to him or someone other than the guy who you gave it to. Apparently, the word is that he is kind of scrubbing the names off of these papers and selling them at exorbitant prices to other Skovlander refugees who have no papers.
Sorry, Ulf is doing this, or the guy
No.
who we initially gave him to?
Yeah, his name was the guy that you gave them to. Stand by. Sorry, it's been a little while. Let's see. Pascal Skitchard, Horfrost.
That's right.
He was hanging out with Tichette Hicks, whom you may recall.
Yes.
Well, you think he's a jerkwad.
That means he is one. That's just how it goes.
So I'm talking about, these two guys. So basically, a employer of yours, Pascal Skitchard, aka Hoarfrost. But Ulf Ironborn is kind of holding you guys responsible. Basically saying, you're criminals and you helped this guy and I'm blaming you and I know you're wanted. And he's basically saying, I'll turn you over to the Spirit Wardens unless you make amends for all of this. Now, you can pay him off, or you can either pay him. You can pay him off either by kind of kowtowing to him, which would be forfeiting 1 rep. So it's rep or coin equal to his faction status, because you don't have to pay whatever amount he says. You only have to pay commensurate with his actual power and influence.
Right.
And I was finding a picture of Ulf Ironborn. Here we go. I don't think I've used this one before, have I?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay. So that's our Ulf Ironborn. All credit to Chero Art at DeviantArt.com. And now you don't, again, because of the way the underworld works, you only really, he's asking for 10 coin. But you only have to actually pay him equal to his power and influence, which is not all that enormous. He's a tier 1. He's part of it, or he's the leader of a tier 1 organization. So you can pay him off with 1 rep or 1 coin. Or you can stand up to him and say, screw you, and then you'll get -1 faction status.
Being a Scovlander myself and hearing about this other guy kind of taking our work or what was supposed to be goodwill towards the Scovlanders and him profiting at the cost of other Scovlanders for it, I'm willing to kowtow to this guy a little bit. I think I'm willing to spend a bit of rep here. Sir, do you agree?
I was gonna say coin, but if you think we can spare the rep better than the coin, that's fine.
We're pretty short on coin, or at least I am. I've got 1 coin myself, and the lair only has 1 coin.
Yeah, I mostly just have stash, which is not great, so.
Yeah, let's just spend the 1 rep then.
Alright, we'll just have to do something really cool to make it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually thinking our next score should be focused on making some coin because we're so short on it. We've been short for a very long time.
Well, Ulf Ironborn kind of takes, you kind of promise to say, hey, we're gonna do as you say. We won't take any more jobs. You say whatever you need to say. We can roleplay it out if you want, but essentially, it means forfeiting 1 rep. And then you are good. When would you guys like me to roll? I'm going to give you the option. We can do downtime actions now. But at what point do you want me to roll for ally and enemy factions?
I'm fine with just going ahead and knocking that out of the way.
Yeah, that gives us time, before other downtime actions if we have to do triage.
All right. Okay, we're going to get this done. So, all right, I'm going to start at the right side of the screen. The Foghounds are tier 1. Oh boy.
I think we're going to be getting into another war soon here.
1, 2.
Everybody hates us.
Wait. Yeah, 3. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the Foghounds are chasing you guys down. They don't want you to keep earning money that they could earn, or that they think that they're owed. Especially since you just didn't you guys like do something with the cash that you stole from them?
Yes, we used that as a kind of starting point for the Lampblack's job. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
All right. Now. Oh. I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, now the Path of Echoes, which is really more of an ally than an enemy. A 5. Okay. Oh man, I can never remember how many ticks you're supposed to put on based on a roll.
So if it's equivalent to what the healing roll is, I haven't looked into what it is for anything else, but for healing it's a 1, 2, or 3 is 1 tick, a 4 or a 5 is 2 ticks, a 6 is 3, and a crit is 5.
So wait, how do you do 1 tick?
1, 2, or 3.
Oh, okay.
Basically, failure is 1 tick, partial success is 2, success is 3, and crit is 5.
Right. This is similar, but it's a little more complicated because you have to take effect into account.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So, Lord Penderin gets in contact with you guys. With you, Suri.
Yeah.
And you get a fancy letter. I assume Suri has some way that her cult can contact her. Or maybe not. Okay. Or maybe all you know is that the next time you indulge your vice, Lord Penderin wants to talk to you.
I mean, like, what's the point of joining a cult if you don't have a formal correspondence system?
Indeed. Now, Antisthenes has a personal vendetta separate from the Spirit Wardens as a whole. The Spirit Warden known as Antisthenes.
Yes, although if I'm not, or I seem to recall that it was Antisthenes that we turned the dagger over to.
Oh, was
Or
it?
not the dagger, but the spirit bottle.
Oh, I see. You sought out Antisthenes. Okay, all right. Well, I think we can get rid of this clock then.
Cool.
Very nice. That was a pretty big score. In which you guys rolled all sixes.
Yeah, I know.
Like all sixes. Okay. I don't think I'm ticking any of these things. Oh wait, the crows. You guys took the crow's stash?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, we're gonna tick that once. Twice. So the crows, whom you guys bamboozled, it wasn't. It was you guys bamboozled your way past them with the cart, with the wagon pulled by your trusty goats. That pissed the crows off. Because you did that job for your buddy. Didn't you? Did we ever change your status with the Lampblacks? Yeah, you have a positive one.
With them now.
Nice, you have a positive status with them now. Okay. And that's it. Okay. We did all the neutral ones. Or not neutral ones. All the NPCs. Clucks.
Okay.
Alright, so how about we go from right to left? Suri, would you like to take a downtime action?
Yes, I would. I would like to relieve a little bit of stress. So I'm going to indulge my vice.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, 5 stress reduced.
Well, hang on a minute. Because when you go to the cult's archives of spirits, and you're faced with the rows and rows of whispers in jars. Lord Penderin approaches and taps your elbow.
That's a really weird place to tap. I guess they turn around.
Let's see. I used to have this great whispering sound, but it was on SoundCloud, so don't have it anymore. Dang it. Alright. I can't find it, but it's taking too long. He taps your elbow, and he says, might I have a word, Lady Suri?
I'm never one to say no to you, Lord Penderin. How can I help?
He brings you away from the other seekers of wisdom from the Whispers into a sort of alcove or antechamber that you are unfamiliar with. And he leans in and he says quietly, "It is the duty of everyone that partakes of our great organization's Whispers to contribute now and again to our archives. The inner circle has met, and in the wisdom of the Whispers from ages long past, we have chosen you as the next to contribute. Will you accept?"
Of course.
Good.
Is there someone specific in mind, or am I to find someone to bring?
He reaches into his vest and into a pocket in his vest, and he pulls out a small glass vial with a stopper. It appears to be empty, but then he shakes it. And as he shakes it, a sort of a crimson mist appears inside the vial. And he looks at you with those creepy eyes. And he says, "This is the blood. The ectoplasmic touched blood of one whose whispered words we consider very dear in the Path of Echoes. It was lost to us, this spirit, some time ago, when you were but a small girl, I may say, if I may say so. We would very much like to have it back." He hands you the vial, which, as it sort of settles, it kind of, like the crimson mist kind of becomes a silvery and then semi-transparent kind of mist. Very hard to see when it's not disturbed. And he says, "This ectoplasmically charged blood belonged to Faintree Kesserin, also known as Bliss. Faintree Kesserin was an inventor and was foremost among those that developed the lightning rail, and some say even advised the immortal emperor himself in the building of the great lightning walls that shield us from the Deathlands. If you will accept this injunction to find Faintree Kesseran's spirit and return it to these very halls where we seek wisdom in the Path of Echoes, then I would suggest inquiring with those who have knowledge of centuries past, perhaps a scribe or an historian. That it will be up to you. This visionary's whispers could be or were invaluable to the Path of Echoes. Will you do this?
Absolutely.
Good. And now I will leave you to seek what wisdom you can in the mad whispers in the archive. And he kind of sweeps his cloak dramatically around and stalks off over the flagstones, leaving you with the vial.
Well, I guess I tuck it in my pocket and then go indulge my vice.
Very successfully, as you listen to the whispers of spirits young and old when they passed, but mostly from a very long time ago. Your spirit, your desire for knowledge is soothed. And yeah, relieving 5 stress is quite a bit. Alright. You didn't over...
No, I had 6.
Yeah, oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So you're down to 1. Ogre. As Suri is doing that, what is Ogre up to?
Ogre is also going to be indulging his vice. He's going to go and he's going to see his daughter, Syrah.
Okay.
And true or not, he thinks he's got much more of a handle on the rage issues that he's been having. So he's going to actually go and try to spend some time with her.
Okay. Well, your ex-wife, Mara, does she share your last name, or she have a different last name?
Syrah probably does, but Mara does not.
Okay. Well, unless Mara changed it from Welker. So, yes, here's your daughter Syrah. Spelled with a Y. She is, of course, delighted to see you. It's time to roll a fortune roll. Is Tashette Hicks anywhere around? When you go and visit.
How many dice should I roll?
1 die.
Okay. I got a 6.
Did you write luck, question mark?
Yes, I did.
Alright. Tashette Hicks is nowhere to be seen, fortunately. But you do see evidence of a man. There's shaving equipment by the sink. There's a different, there's a smell of cologne in the air. What do you think Ogre would do about that, if anything?
I think he's gonna suggest that he take Sierra to go shopping. Get out of the house for a little bit.
Mara says, Sierra's not comfortable with that. You can play with her here. That should be enough. She looks at you defiantly.
You're more than welcome to come along as well. If you're not comfortable.
She looks thoughtful. Well, I suppose we do need a few things around the house. She seems to be wavering. It's time for an action roll.
Okay.
What are you going to use to try and convince her? And will your anger be triggered at all by this?
Ogre's trying really hard to hold back on the anger right now, and like that's specifically why he's wanting to leave, is because he's not really comfortable with the signs of somebody else being here, and so I think he's going to be trying instead to kind of play it up like, if she's saying that she needs a few things, then it's actually better if she comes so that she can make better decisions of where the money gets spent than Ogre could. And kind of playing up her role in what's going on.
Okay. Well, it's definitely going to be... so it sounds like maybe consort.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
All right. You can make a consort roll. I'll give you +1 dice because Sierra doesn't want to see you angry.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay. I did not say the position in effect, which is my bad, but we'll go with controlled and standard, yeah.
Yeah, I figured with it not being in a score.
We'll go with controlled. Yeah, but sometimes it's not controlled.
Yeah.
In a score, but yeah, that's... I forgot to do that. Okay, a 5. Well, between yours and Sierra's urging, Mara is moved. And she agrees to go shopping. But just because not everything is like exactly, she feels like she doesn't have complete control of the situation. Because Sarah wants to go shopping with you. We're going to tick 1 mark on her clock.
Makes sense.
So there's still some patience there, but at least there hasn't been a blow up. So you take them shopping. Where do you take them? She said they need a few things. She was thinking of groceries and the like. She's normally shopping. They're in the very poor area. So the most of what they get is like covered in coal dust.
Yeah. We'll start with those kinds of things, but I'm going to make sure that on the way back we kind of steer towards something a little bit more fun for Sierra, like a little toy store or something like that.
Nice.
Even if it's just like a street vendor or something like that, something that I probably would have seen on my way over to their place.
A street vendor in a pool of lamplight in the eternally dark Doskvol. Where in the world where the sun has been shattered. Let's see how that goes. So go ahead and make your indulging roll.
Okay. I got a 5 as well.
Very nice. What's your stress? Currently has 6 stress. It actually shows you, which is nice.
Yep.
Wow, very nice. Everything goes wonderfully. Syrah's happy. Mara seems happy. You avoided letting the demon of anger that rides your back at all times from taking over. You bring a smile. A bright smile to Syrah's face. It is, all in all, an absolutely wonderful day and outing. Lots of your stress falls away. Congratulations.
All right. Ogre is feeling a lot better.
Suri.
Yes.
Do you have another downtime action? Free downtime action.
Now, if I decided to clear some heat, would I be able to remove us down from being wanted? Or is that a special?
No. The only way to clear a wanted level is for someone to take the fall and go to jail.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily, like, when we last did this, Echo just kind of turned himself in. But it could also potentially be, like, one of our contacts or a friend. If we had a cohort, we might be able to get one of them to go to jail. We could even potentially make a score of framing somebody to make them go to jail for us. But someone has to go to jail, and when they do, our wanted level gets reduced by 1, and we clear our heat.
You only have 1 heat right now because basically the heat you had before led to a wanted level.
Yeah, no, I know. I wanted to know if I could do that or if it was like, yeah. That's why I asked, is because I knew we only had the 1 heat.
Uh-huh. You can't clear the wanted level unless you turn yourself in or do something else. What would you like to use your downtime action for?
Well,
Would you like us to come back to you?
yeah, no, I'm actually going to, I'm going to actually remember that I have a harm and start, and do some recovery time.
Okay. You're going to visit a local physiker.
Yes. Now, do we have somebody, or do I need to?
I guess we can
Well,
keep
we have
using
Blend.
Blend.
I mean, Blend is around. They're just really involved in this weird project of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
as much as it bothers me to let Blend do anything to any part of my person or psyche, I am going to ask them to help. So, how do we do this? I guess
I'll just roll 2 dice.
Alright.
Are there any bonus dice here?
It's Blend's Tinker plus 1 for being a physiker.
Gotcha.
So that's 2 ticks on your healing track.
Very nice.
And you can spend a coin to increase that to 3.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really only have stash, so...
Yeah, okay.
Well, you can pull it out of your stash.
Yeah, but I'm not going to, right?
Okay. All right. So could you describe your harm and what Blend does to heal it?
Alright, so I have a pinched psyche. So Suri walks into Blend's little personal cubicle? Do we still have just like cubicles, or have we upgraded to rooms?
I think you probably could have built them out a little bit more into actual rooms. But yeah, you guys, when you upgrade stuff, you can pay to like upgrade the lair and make it nicer. Like right now, you just knocked out some walls between cubicles.
All right, so
Your own little warren of an abandoned office.
all right, so Soria's gonna walk into Blend's room, and she's gonna shut the door, and she's gonna hold up the finger and say, "Now, before we do this, I want to get something perfectly straight. I don't want you to cut any part of my body. If I see blood, I run out of here and punch you in the face. I don't want you to feed me anything that is not legal to own for a regular citizen. I don't want you to do anything that is going to cause me to take even longer to recover than I already am, or to try and upgrade my body or my brain in any way. All I want is some bath salts and nice candles."
Blend says, "Oh, okay, I can feed you bath salts."
No, for a bath. In the bath. I'm not hungry.
Aw, you're no fun, says Blend. Okay. What was your harm again?
A pinched psyche.
Yes, because you reduced it, didn't you? From,
I did.
worst thing. So yes, some of the memories... Blend sets you up actually in like an amazing bathtub. Which is just obviously part of a physicker's job. Yeah, I guess you convalesce. I feel like actually it's like a really nice bathtub, but then you have to be like strapped into a straitjacket. Because as you relax, like the effects of the pinched psyche, like, and the memories of that crab-like demon, that thing down in the tank, down in the cult lair below the city, the memories of it cause you to lash out and almost try to claw your eyes. So you have to be restrained, even as you're taking this nice, relaxing bath.
Well, you know.
But after much thrashing, that will heal. Put 2 ticks on your heal clock. What does that fill your clock yet, or not quite?
No, not quite. But I'm making progress. I remembered that I had a heart.
Very nice. Well, it hasn't applied to anything. What are the effects of the harm? Level 1 harm.
It just says less effect.
Okay. Yeah.
So whenever you're doing a roll that harm could apply to, like if you were trying to attune to something or something like that, then you would get 1 less effect. So a standard would become limited or whatever else.
All right, yeah. I mean, I don't do those kinds of things all that terribly often because I usually leave it to Dredge, but still.
Well, it could certainly apply to talking to ghosts, which is something that you do.
I've been known to dabble.
So remember to apply it, and then after the rolls is resolved, the effects are resolved, I will give you a bonus tick on the healing clock. Okay, so that's Suri's second downtime action. What about you, Ogre?
Ogre is going to hit the gym, and he's going to train his prowess up a bit.
All right. You guys have like a new gym set up in the office. Or is this not using... Do you guys still have prowess as your bonus thing?
We do.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, I imagine that, as we were tearing out some of the walls and stuff, we were also basically converting some of the cubicles into like a jungle gym kind of thing.
Nice.
Like creating an obstacle course.
So you climb around on the bars, etc., and do a new obstacle course. Cool. So that trains you up. All right. Well, that's all. That's both of your free downtime actions. Now we can go to free play with character scenes. Doing actions, gathering information on your next score, and then eventually choosing a target and choosing a plan for the next score. Or if you want to do more major downtime activities, you can pay for them. So would either of you like to do that?
I don't feel a need.
And we can...
Good on downtime actions.
Okay. All right, at the moment. And of course we can jump back and forth between free play and downtime. As needed, because you might trigger something during free play that you're like, now we have to do a downtime action to fix that.
Yeah.
It could happen. So, what do you guys want to look into or do?
Well, Sori would like to have a little talk with Ogre.
All right.
Okay.
So I guess she'll just sort of wait for a moment when he's, nice and relaxed, not seeming particularly tense about anything.
He just worked out and he got out all of his testosterone anger.
Perfect. Nice. And also he's hopefully tired, so that's even better. And she's going to go sit down, and she sort of looks kind of thoughtful and a little serious. And she says, I think perhaps it would do you some good sometime. I'm not used to this sort of thing. The Order of Whispers doesn't really proselytize. Nevertheless, I think that a certain amount of listening to the whispering of ghosts develops a compassion which many people find difficult to summon when confronted with a being which seems willing only to lash out.
Ogre's just gonna kind of stare at Suri for a second and just kind of say, let's go down a list of the supernatural beings that I've dealt with since joining this crew. We've dealt with a ghost that was inhabiting a mask that caused all kinds of chaos at a party. We've dealt with hulls that were twice my size and significantly stronger. We've dealt with a freaking crab monster of some kind of horrifying nature. We've dealt with a ghost that wanted to kill us just because we were crossing its neighborhood. And we've dealt with one just a few days ago that created a knife that cuts into the idea of a person. And as he's saying this, his hands start glowing with red energy. And your solution to my anger management issues is that I talk with more ghosts?
Not exactly. I have no interest in helping you with your anger management issues. They are your issues, and you must deal with them. I only thought that perhaps it would be worth your time to learn to have a little bit more compassion for souls less fortunate than yours, those which are doomed to live without a body and without any means of acquiring the things that are so desperately important to them. You know what it is, I presume, to want something very badly. Perhaps to want somebody to go away and leave you or your family alone. And she just kind of gives him this meaningful glare.
I also know exactly what it is to want something and not be able to get it, no matter how much you want it and no matter how much you try. And to only be able to get periodic glimpses at the things that you want without being able to really have it for yourself.
Indeed.
So I think I've got plenty of that. I don't really need extra empathy in that regard.
Very well. Since you think that your empathy muscle is sufficiently developed, I will only tell you then. You may, of course, choose to act however you wish. But, for better or for worse, I am a member of an order that is deeply interested in the welfare of spirits. And if I see you needlessly torture one again, like you did the other night, I will stop you by whatever means are at my disposal.
Well, maybe I should have just let it go then and let it do what it wanted with you, since you're so concerned about its welfare.
Perhaps. It bothers me that you can't see the difference between doing nothing and doing everything. I was attempting to find a middle path for you, but it seems you will have to find it for yourself.
Listen, Suri. I was in the Skovlander army for a number of years, and if there's one thing that I learned in my service, it's that there's no such thing as overkill.
That seems to have served you well in other aspects of your life.
It's gotten me to where I am, and it's kept me alive, which is more than I can say for a lot of people.
Well then, I suppose that we will just have to agree to disagree and see where that takes us.
I suppose so.
And Suri will get up and leave.
Okay. Ogre's probably gonna get a drink.
Wow. Wow. I imagine you guys were having that conversation like just outside the Lairs obstacle course gym. In in one of the lights that you've run through the place. After you go and cool off, it definitely seems that Dredge and your newest member are off. Gosh, I forgot the newest member's name. Wake. Are off, or her code name anyway, are off on their own projects, just as Blend has been consumed by an obsession lately. Dredge is off researching something to do with this alchemic knife that can cut into the idea of something. Absolutely crazy as that may seem. And Wake seems to be dealing with something that came up from her past that she didn't want to necessarily share with the rest of the crew. So it's really just Ogre and Suri round and about the compound lately. And if you guys are going to keep pushing rare imports to succeed, you're going to be the ones who are going to find, how to do that at the moment. So what would you like to do? That was quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah, so Ogre probably, kind of having his ear to the ground for a little bit.
Yeah.
And hearing about the fact that the Foghounds seem to be getting ready to move against us, he's going to propose that we strike first and try to sabotage their ship that they love so much, and see if we can steal some things that are on the ship as well, and make a bit of coin in the process.
I'm down.
Wow. Okay. Not pursuing a rumor nor a
What was that, Max?
I'm trying to remember when was the last time you guys didn't pursue a rumor. This is your own score.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
It has indeed.
I don't think the Lamplax was a rumor. I think that was just us wanting.
That's true.
Yeah, we wanted to build up some goodwill after they'd been helping us out a lot, because Mac had mentioned in a previous one that they were starting to get more than a little pissed off that I was constantly asking them for favors without really doing anything for them.
Yeah. And I guess now we've just outright bought the boat that you've been renting indefinitely.
Yeah. Well, and I think that
Oh, have you?
well, we acquired a boat as part of our level up. So
Oh, you acquired a boat, so you have a boat as an asset now.
we do.
Parked in some secret location. So you can come and go with that. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm trying to... My Blades in the Dark file has become corrupted somehow. So I'm trying to re-download that so I can have all the information of the Foghounds at my fingertips.
I've actually gotten that file is corrupted message myself, Max.
Oh.
If you just open up Adobe by itself and then and then use its file open on Blades in the Dark, it should work.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not.
Interesting.
It doesn't consistently give me the corrupted message either, even when I just double click.
So
I
file
found that
open,
works.
and then I go find it.
Yeah. Or it might even be on your recents, depending on how many other PDFs you look at.
It's not. Yeah, I think I need to re-download it. Okay. Just
That
give me a
means Too
minute.
big for me to drag and drop on Discord.
Yeah. Well, thanks for trying. Just gotta give me a second. Okay. Okay. There we go. Yep. I needed to download it again for some reason.
That's weird.
I think it might have deleted. I might have deleted the non-extracted version, or you know what I mean. I might have deleted the extracted version, and then been trying to open the zipped version, or something. I don't know if that would cause a problem, but anyway, I've got it now. Okay, so Ogre and Suri, you guys come together and you're like, let the two of us sabotage the Foghound's boat. So to do that, you're going to need to get some information on the Foghounds. How do you go about getting that?
Well, I could attempt to do some consorting with Bazo and be like, listen, take these guys out. They're not good for either one of us. I know you probably don't think so right now, but you will after our conversation.
Okay. So you're going to go right to the leader of another gang, a very powerful gang that's involved in a war for the Crow's Foot, for control of Crow's Foot. Bajo kind of smirks and says, "My dear." He kind of smears some of the dust off of his desk. The Foghounds are friends to the Lampblacks. We are allies. I'm sorry to hear that you're having some troubles with them. We are not involved in that. He leans forward over the desk. I'm not saying it's impossible that a business opportunity might, come up that that might benefit us more than a close relationship with the Foghounds, but for now, they have mastered the northern smuggling routes in and out of Duskwall. I can't say that it benefits the Lampblacks or the former Lamplighters Guild to help you out in this venture. We will stay well out of it, my dear.
Well, that is disappointing.
Do you want to push it? Let me ask you real quick, Suri. I want to hear what you're going to say, but I want to ask if you want. Does Suri want to kind of push it and really make this into an action role, or do you want to kind of play it off and pursue another avenue?
That's a good question. I mean, this could really go one of two ways. I've already come really close to pissing this guy off. But what the hell? I would like to push it and turn it into an action.
All right, so what do you say?
I say, I'm surprised to hear that. I thought that you were swimming with much bigger fish than Foghounds these days. I mean, I don't want to pretend that I'm any more important than I am. You know that I run with a very small crew. I need a lot of help in order to just keep afloat, and yet we were able to get the better of the Foghounds the last time we encountered them fairly easily. They're no match for us, and therefore certainly not for you. I'm not really sure what they're contributing to your organization.
He's raising his eyebrows and smiling even wider. One of the large guys that kind of hangs out here in this. They're a fearsome gang of leg breakers. One of the hefty guys kind of leans over, and he's as big as Ogre. There's a couple of them in here. And Bajo kind of plays with one of the empty shot glasses on his desk. Not as empty as would be probably healthy. And he says, I take care of my people. All right, so go ahead and make an action roll. Now, what action are you going to use? Are you using with this conversation?
I guess I'd like to use sway. I'm trying to, not, just sort of make him feel like I'm trying to push him further away from feeling like the Foghounds are his friends and more toward feeling like they're just kind of a drain on his resources. Like he doesn't need them for anything.
Okay. So this will be desperate. And here we go. It's a downtime thing that's desperate.
Right.
Now you do have a pinched psyche. But I don't think that's coming into play here so much. Do you have any other harms? Just that?
Nope, just that.
Okay. I think that your effect here will be none. Now, of course, there are ways you can raise it. But that's the situation as I stated. And as you're trying to convince Bajo to betray one of his organizations, the Lamplax allies, possibly to the detriment of his loyal, lovable rogue leg breakers, he is not inclined. He has no particular reason other than your charming words to go along with what you're saying. So the effect here will be 0, and the situation is desperate.
Okay. I will push myself in order to raise my effect.
Okay. A devil's bargain. So that'll raise the effect to limited.
Right.
A devil's bargain here. Might be a devil's bargain. The devil's bargain here might be that you can play upon Bajo Baz's membership in a secret society. Because you'll see a tattoo, and I'll tell you if you accept what tattoo you see on his arm that clues you in. But doing so will may get back to this secret society, and they may not like that.
Interesting. I'll take it.
Okay. You see a tattoo as he's kind of uncomfortably shifting at his desk in his enormous overstuffed desk chair. This tattoo of essentially a kind of an empty amphora, or like a bowl. And you realize there's something disturbing about this tattoo. It almost shifts more, independent of his skin. And you realize this is the symbol of the empty vessel.
I see.
A cult of a forgotten god.
It's not our forgotten god, is it?
Huh?
King in yellow.
No, completely different.
There's a lot of cults of forgotten gods going around. I just had to keep them all straight.
Well, yes. All the cults are forgotten gods.
I mean, if you remember them, then, why would you even need to
It
have
wouldn't
a cult?
even be a cult, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the official religion of the Empire is the ecstasy of the flesh.
That doesn't sound like a cult at all.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Ogre will also assist you. We'll say that he's there, and he's basically like when Suri is talking up about how we were able to pretty easily deal with foghounds last time we were up against them. I mean, Ogre wasn't actually there for that, but he's gonna play the role of the tough guy and just kind of crack his knuckles and smile at the thought of beating the crap out of the foghounds to give the implication that this will not be challenging for us.
All right.
And it would be in their best interest to be on the winning side.
Well, the Crows are also at war with the Red Sashes over control of Crow's Foot. So there is a hook in there as well. But Suri's spotting the opportunity to play upon the empty vessel as well, or his membership in that. So we'll see how this goes. So it's desperate. You're getting an assist, it sounds like, from Ogre. You've taken the Devil's Bargain, and you are making a sway roll.
And don't you get a bonus for...
Yeah, I counted that. All right, so I've got a 6 on 5 dice, despite everyone's best effort, or despite the dice best effort to thwart.
2, 2, 6, 4, 3. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. That is a dramatic thing. Wow.
Don't forget to mark the Resolve XP as well.
Yes.
There is some lightning and thunder happening around here, so we don't know. Our power could cut out, I guess.
Well, hopefully not.
Okay. Let's see. And what did I say the effect ended up being?
Limited.
Limited.
Yeah, because she pushed herself for effect.
Right. And you couldn't trade position for effect. Hang on. Okay. Bajo leans back over the desk. Could you narrate just a little bit how maybe come up, if you can come up with it, a way that Suri, maybe she just looks at the tattoo thoughtfully, or maybe she makes reference to something. If you can come up with a way of doing that, that would be cool.
Sure. So she notices the tattoo and she says, "Listen, you're a clever man. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to keep control of this organization as long as you have, nor brought it to its current stature. And I think that you are clever enough to recognize that sometimes it is the smaller organizations which carry the greater potency. That while it may be easier to ally oneself with the rest of the group, there are certain vessels which may appear empty, but upon closer inspection are in fact quite worthwhile."
So for the first time, so Bajo's usual wide grin kind of narrows a bit, and he kind of reacts to you dropping that. And he says, "Okay." He says, "Cards on the table, my friends. I like you. But we do not have the kind of special relationship that is built up over years. The Foghounds," and he kind of signals to some of his guys to, his big beefy guys kind of stand near Ogre. And, just kind of like physically near. Not intimidating other than just the mere presence of them. But they are, physically intimidated by Ogre, who's a huge dude, right?
Yeah.
So Bajo says, "I like you, Suri, and I like your crew. I think it's a shame that you can't seem to get along with the Foghounds, who have moved an awful lot of goods. Totally legitimate goods for the Lampblacks over the years. So, look, I would prefer if you maybe found a way to be friends with the Foghounds. Maybe try talking to Captain Vale. Captain Margette Vale. She's fearless and not one to easily back down. But she's smart. That's why I like her. That's why I like you. And I see no particular reason why you can't make friends. You used to do a spot of smuggling yourselves, didn't you? You did for me recently.
A bit.
Sorry, not smuggling. Moving legitimate goods across the city. Pickup and delivery. He seems to be calculating things in his head very carefully. I bet if you went to Old Northport, where they've mastered the routes, the best routes. I bet if you had a chat with Captain Margette Vale, maybe avoid Bear and Goldie. Or actually, no, I take that back. Avoid Bear, maybe talk to Goldie. That's the navigator of the Foghounds. Calculating lady. And she's more patient and confident than most. Maybe that's the way in. I bet you could work out some kind of arrangement for you both to benefit, rather than this nastiness. Trust me, as one who is, as we are continuing our war with the Red Sashes, which I wouldn't mind some help with, by the way. It's no good. It's no good to be at odds if you don't have to be. Maybe find a way that you and the Foghounds can both can both operate in your respective territories, or even work together. Maybe they just don't know that you've gotten into a different game these days, and aren't so much rivals in the delivery business as you used to be. Maybe some of your connections could benefit Captain Vale and all the Foghounds, since I know they're looking for a more regular rich customer. How does that sound?
I think perhaps we could give it a try. A great deal of this depends on them, you understand. We have little interest in continuing our disagreements with them, considering that, as you say, it's unwise to be in conflict with too many people at once. But
how about I set up a meet?
that would be of great interest. If they knew that we had some mutual friends, they might be more willing to listen.
Well, I'm very busy with this war. And he kind of snaps his fingers and points at one of his big guys, who kind of springs over like a sheaf of papers, it looks like, but maybe there's something else in the stack. And he says, so I'm going to have to cut this meeting short, I'm afraid. But, tell you what, I'll set up a meet. I'll send you the details. We'll have it, you can do it on neutral ground, not controlled by the Lampbox, the Foghounds, or Rare Imports. And maybe you can put your heads together and something will come of it. It's going to be showing up unarmed, absolutely no weapons whatsoever. And that includes any kind of funky, funny business from your more ghostly friends.
Absolutely.
While we're having this discussion with the Foghounds, is there any particular merchandise that they've been, or that you've been looking for from them that we might be able to smooth things over and make sure it gets to you appropriately?
Merchandise from whom?
I'm just saying, you've mentioned that they move a lot of goods for you.
Aye.
Is there anything they have right now that hasn't yet been delivered that we might?
I am disinclined to discuss my business arrangements with other parties.
That's perfectly fair. I was only thinking we might be able to smooth the wheels on that as we were having our discussions with the Foghounds.
Well, between you and me, if you are interested in liberating some goods, I've got a few locations controlled by the Red Sashes that you might be able to pick up for me.
I would be glad to take a look.
Excellent. Would you say? All right. So we'll set up a meet, and because we're such friends, I mean, I would normally ask for a king's ransom for such a thing, but I'm interested in smoothing things over. Now, side note, guys, as like an influential boss, you guys are tier 1, right?
Yeah.
As like an influential boss, there would normally be like a customary fee of several bags of coin for something like this. Now you can probably get away with not paying it, but Bajjo might look more kindly on you if you followed that custom. That's up to you guys. I'm just letting you know.
I'm willing to pay out of my stash.
Okay.
How much would it be, normally?
It would probably normally be 2 coin, but since you're close friends and he wants to see you guys make friends with the Foghounds anyway, probably price would be lower.
Alright, so I'll give him a coin then, just to...
Okay, so Suri, and over the next couple of days, you're going to pull from your investments and your various people who are connected, in various ways to Rare Imports, and you pay out 1 coin, a bag of silver, to Bajjo, and he responds with the location and details of the meet.
Alrighty.
All right. So I'm gonna give you guys info on. I guess this is 2 different scores. Would you rather pursue stealing from the Red Sashes, or the meet with the Foghounds first?
I think the meet with the Foghounds makes more sense to start with.
Okay.
Just because if that goes south, then that might inform what we want to do after that.
Yeah. Okay. So Bajjo, one of the lampblacks, comes up and kind of, in a dark alleyway, mutters to Ogre, kind of from within a heavy trench coat.
It's just 3 small lampblacks in a trench coat.
He tells you that the meet will take place in Charhollow on Ashcloud Road. There's a refinery that is kind of attached in some way to the railroads that go through there. By the way, side note, hi there, the man with no screen name. Nice to see you in chat. So this refinery, he tells you it's Ashcloud Refinery. and can be accessed behind some sodden trash and casks via a sewer grate. And in Ash Cloud Refinery, apparently there's an area that, this is neutral. The Foghounds have no connection to it. Bajo has some connection to it, obviously. But neither do you guys have any hold in Char Hollow, let alone in this refinery. So he mutters this information and then walks off.
Okay.
And the meet is to take place very soon. So if you guys want to do any preparation, you can. Otherwise, let's go ahead and start the score. But you can. Do you want to do any other gathering of info before you do that?
Ogre will definitely want to survey the area that you're talking about. I mean, I'm assuming when he gives me that information, it's not going to be like be there
Sure.
in 15 minutes kind of thing. So
No. It's like some days in the future.
yeah. So in the time before that, I do want to
Okay.
take a look around the area and
All right, you.
see if there's any potential like ambush spots that we need to be concerned about, that kind of thing.
Okay, so you make your way to Char Hollow, where the clouds of smoke fill the always dark sky and make it even darker. Man, I know I had... here we go. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
That's the background noise of Char Hollow.
Nice.
So you are taking a survey action in order to do this. I think this will be a fortune roll rather than well, are you trying to do anything other than like just get information, just see what you can see without committing yourself too much?
Yeah, that's really the main thing that I wanted to do right now.
Okay. So go ahead and just make a fortune roll based on your survey.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Two.
Oh my god, wait. I just realized. I actually didn't plan this, but I've been waiting to use this image. Oh no, I don't have a credit for this image. I'm so sorry. If anyone finds the credit for this image, please let me know, and I will put it in here.
Oh, that is cool.
All credit to the artist. I have been saving that. All right.
It's like a steampunk version of a Battlefleet Gothic ship.
That's exactly what it is, actually. But in this case, it's a lightning rail engine that probably takes stuff in and out of this massive refinery. All right, so what did you get on your fortune roll?
2. So
2. Not great.
Not finding anything useful.
Well, the building is certainly complex and crowded. It is mostly made of cut stone blocks, and then there's this kind of industrial metal, like curved, gigantic ceiling that curves overhead. Outside, even though like the workers that kind of march in and out are very dirty and covered in soot, there's very excellent landscaping. So, somebody, kind of cares about the outward appearance. Even with your unfortunate fortune roll, Suri says it's from tinyeye.com. All right, I'll put that on for now. How are you so quick with the reverse image search? There we go. What was I saying?
That's a reverse image search website. That's not. I need to have either the image URL or the actual image in order to do the reverse image search.
Yeah.
And since it's a background, it won't let me download the image.
Yeah. Oh. It won't let you download the image? Yeah. Okay.
Because we can't select it.
Yeah. Well, I'm DMing, so I'm not going to do it right now. What was I talking about?
The unfortunate.
Yes. So even though you got that, it's hard not to notice the many crisscrossing catwalks and potential in this very complex layout for spy holes. And, it is hard for your eye to pick out in this enormous construction area all the various locations where people might be. But definitely the location where you're meeting, there's kind of a cleared area with some like crates you could sit on. There's actually like an incinerator for trash. And there's chairs and looks like some papers and some dice. Might be a place where some people go to take a break. Some workers go to take a break now and again. But yeah, Ash Cloud Refinery.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to dig any deeper.
Okay.
Risk anything by trying to turn this into an action roll. So I think I'll just leave it as it is. I'll just be extra wary as I'm moving into the area when we start the meet.
Thank you very much to Kenny in Twitch chat, and to Paladin Brewer for finding the source of the image. I am going ahead and I'm going to put the credit on here right now. You have done a good deed this day. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and head back to the lair.
Sorry, say that again?
You're going to head back to the lair, you said?
Yeah.
Alright. So with that somewhat limited information, you head back to the lair. Talk to Suri again. Okay. Do you guys want to gather any further information before the meet with the Foghounds?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I'm about ready to go.
Okay. All right. In that case, go ahead and choose your load level, as well as your plan.
Yeah.
I mean, or a normal load, I guess, not medium.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're supposed to go in with minimal weapons and stuff, and it's not hostile territory, but it would be nice to be able to have a couple of things up our sleeves. And we don't particularly, it's going to be, we don't need to do a lot of moving on this mission.
So it's probably social.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that our plan is social. We're using our connection with Lamp Blacks to basically say, like, hey, get off our backs.
Mm-hmm.
We're all on the same side at this point. Yeah, we had some missteps in our initial relationship, but there's no need to escalate it further.
All right, so you're going to negotiate. And of course, the social connection is Baz-o-Baz. Perfect.
And Ogre will also be going in with a medium or normal load.
Okay, normal load. Sounds good. Well, howdy there, Lion Nation in the Twitch chat. Okay. All right. Well, it's time. Who's going to do the engagement roll?
Sorry did the entanglement, so I'll do the engagement.
Awesome. Okay. So... Alright, so you get one die just for luck. Major advantages. I don't think this operation is particularly bold or daring. You know they have agreed to the meet, or you hope they've agreed to the meet. I guess you don't really know. You're just going to show up at the appointed place and at the appointed time. Does the plan detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Not really. This is neutral territory. Friends or contacts providing aid or insight. Yeah. Bajo is setting up this meet for you. And he is a friend, and he is the leader of the Lamp Blacks gang. So, yeah, you are going to get +1 for that. The target is a lower tier? No. The Foghounds are the same tier as you guys. District modifiers. Oh, yes, this is taking place in Char Hollow.
Honey,
What?
can you hang up the call and come back in? Corey's
Suddenly I
having...
made your max again.
Okay, weird.
Might
We're
be
having
the...
like a massive thunderstorm.
Yeah,
here.
might be the storm.
Yeah, so I heard the word district modifiers, and that's pretty much it regarding the engagement roll.
Wait, you didn't hear anything else?
I didn't. I was trying to talk back to you. It sounded. I guess you guys couldn't hear me either.
No.
No.
Okay, so I said 1 for luck. Can you hear me?
Yep.
And then I said none of those other matters except friend providing aid or insight. So +1 for that.
Okay.
The target's the same tier as you, the Foghounds. Or wait, are they tier 2?
No, they're tier 1.
Yeah, they're tier 1. District modifiers. Yeah, I was going to look up Char Hollow. That's where we're at, right? Char Hollow. Why haven't I been using this PDF all along? Alright, so Char Hollow is home to the workforce of the city. As you guys are walking up, you're seeing laborers returning from home. And so operations against the citizenry in Char Hollow are considered on hostile turf for the purpose of generating heat. So no modifiers there.
Okay.
Nor have you guys. You didn't set fire to anything in Char Hollow.
Nope.
That took place somewhere else. So
Yeah, that was up in White Crown.
yeah, you know what? I think I forgot to give you guys -1 in White Crown for that. Wait, was it in White Crown?
That was when we first did the...
I'm thinking of the I'm thinking of the house that you set on fire.
Yeah, that was in White Crown when we were taking turf from the Foghounds the first time.
Perfect. Yeah, you should have -1 with the citizenry of Char Hollow. I forgot to do that. But that's not really a concern at the moment. Excuse me.
So that's not a penalty to our engagement, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
Major disadvantages. Operation is very complex. Not really. You're just like, we're going to go and try to negotiate with them to not be enemies. Target is strong against the approach of particular defenses or preparations. Huh. Well, it's... no, not particular. This isn't taking place, like, in one of the ports that they control. Then you would be in trouble. Enemies or rivals interfering. Ooh. What's your guys' relationship with the red sashes?
0.
Okay, neutral.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really encountered them much.
All right, so that's it. I think that ended up being 2 dice.
That's what I've got.
All right, go ahead. Wow.
It's good to know that we're back on familiar ground.
Yeah, this is not going as well as the last time.
Wow.
Didn't we get crit the last time it was just the two of us?
Yeah,
For the engagement roll?
but wasn't it like a bad crit?
No,
Like,
it was
wasn't
a
it-
good crit. It was like we skipped the first hurdle in getting the medium to help us.
Maybe. Oh yeah, yeah. We had a couple lucky rolls on that one, and
The
then
spirit medium.
Yeah.
It wasn't our main mission that went completely to hell on the first try. It was just everything else about our lives.
Yeah, that was one of those missions we succeeded at everything we tried to do, but everything we tried to do also made things worse.
I mean, we
Because we
started
kept
the
digging
war
down
with
far.
we started the war. We pissed off Antisthenes. We got interested with Karakon. You know, like we really ruined everything the last time it was the two of us on it.
Yep. So I'm sure the Foghounds are gonna love us after this. Everything's gonna go great.
Well, hey, it's just the engagement. It's not a failure.
Just Dredge coming
Yeah.
back next week. Like when it was just Dredge, then we could just be like, yeah, everything's normal, and he was like, that sounds right. But I feel like Wake is going to be a little bit more observant.
Maybe.
Okay. So this is going to be putting you in a desperate position at the start. Things are not going well. Oh boy. So in this enormous place where there's like so much noise at all hours, because the refinery just goes and goes 24 hours a day. It's possible for you to shout here next to the incinerator without really anyone unless they are at a spy hole or at a catwalk you can't see, without anyone really hearing you. You know, like when you're in like a really noisy and wide open space, like at the, you know, it's hard to like hear people that are very far away.
Yeah.
You get the, now there is, so when our action starts, when our camera zooms in on this score, Bear is shouting at Ogre. Bear matches you inch for inch and pound for pound. And he is standing up to his full height. And he's actually more broad-shouldered than you are. And very much hairier. As appropriate for his nickname. And he is shouting, "I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I'm here to tell you, the Foghounds do not forgive and forget very easily. And you have insulted me, sir. You have insulted the Foghounds. You think we're weak. We ain't weak. You think we are just gonna let you come in, take our cash, and walk away? Nuh-uh. We're coming for you. We're coming for you, boy."
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult your pretty little feelings when I was saying that you would be best thinking twice about coming after the likes of us.
Thinking's been happening, I assure you. Thinking has been happening. That's not my job.
Not on your end.
Not my job. Not my job to do thinking, huh? And he looks over at Captain Margette Vale. Now she is standing, arms folded, between two crates, and she's eyeing you both with a fierce glare. Let me show you what she looks like.
Okay.
Well, actually, I guess I don't know that Suri is there necessarily, but I'm just assuming.
Well, if we're at the score, then yes, I am.
Well, unless you are like, you know, you're like, oh, you know, actually, I planned to be elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving Ogre to do all the talking on the talking mission.
Just checking.
No offense, but you've clearly already fucked this up.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and say my response to Bear's comment is just basically something along the lines of, "Oh, poor little Foghounds. Got your panties all in a bunch because we took a little hole in the ground away from you."
This is going south very fast. So the negotiations are starting. Have taken a very nasty turn already. Would either of you like to do anything about that?
Yes, immediately.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to... What's the captain's name again? I'm sorry.
Captain Margette Vale.
Margette Vale. All right. I am going to turn to Captain Vale and say in a voice which doesn't sound like a shout, but yet somehow manages to cut through the two extremely loud men standing in front of us. And I'm going to say, perhaps we would make a little bit more headway if we excluded the men from the conversation.
She stares at you coldly. And in a voice you can barely hear above the background noise, says, anything you want to say to me, you can say to my crew.
Right. Well, it occurs to me that we have perhaps made some missteps in the early stages of our relationship, for which we are regretful. And while I understand the impulse to take the payment out of us in blood, I wonder if perhaps there would be something else more useful to you in the long run that we could offer in order to patch things up.
All right. Well, it's time for a desperate action roll to try to calm the situation.
Okay, I guess I'm probably trying to sway her.
I'm putting
Not
one tick mark
really.
on there because of Ogre's response.
Sounds about right.
So what are you trying to do, Suri?
Sway, definitely.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to assist you on this one.
Please don't even try.
What, that's definitely his anger coming into play. His trauma. Okay, so you're trying to sway her to do exactly what?
I mean, I based pretty much what I said. Like, I want there to be, I want her to start negotiating with us and, you know, open her mind to the possibility that maybe it would be more useful to, you know, have us repay her for what we stole instead of just taking revenge on us and,
Okay.
you know, another war.
All right, this will be desperate standard. Desperate
Okay.
situation, standard effect. The devil's bargain will be that Goldie, the navigator, is willing to listen. But being a shrewd calculating type, is going to drive a hard bargain.
Got it.
The
I'd
fog.
rather push myself.
You know what? We're going to try something a little different this time. There's a type of clock that I've never used, which is a tug of war clock. And I think that would be appropriate for negotiating with the Foghounds.
Sure.
Well, this isn't a very complicated negotiation. It's pretty simple. All right. So this is a push and a pull. And I think on this clock, at the moment, let's see. We'll say that we'll say negotiating with the Foghounds goes south. So if it fills, then the negotiation goes south. And you're probably going to go to war with the Foghounds. And at the moment, due to terrible first interaction, we're just going to go ahead and put 1 tick on there. Okay?
Alrighty.
Meanwhile, you're also juggling the potential that Bear loses it. So that's also a clock down there. Would it be easier if I put all the clocks on the same area?
Probably.
Alright. Alright, Suri. Give it your best shot. I told you the devil's bargain. Do you want to take it or do something else?
I'm going to push myself.
Alright. And yes, Ogre is not able to assist.
Oh dear.
That's no good.
Okay. And this was a desperate situation. So Goldie steps forward and kind of says, well, yeah, I mean, maybe we should at least try to talk about this. But then, as you're trying to sway the captain, to kind of engage with you in this, Ogre, you and Bear are kind of like pressing, getting real close to one another, and like you kind of like stumble backward, not like completely losing your balance, but just like because like you're uncomfortably close to this guy. And you like try to like step back a little bit just to leave a little more air between you, especially so you could bring your hands up if you needed to. But then your foot kind of catches on one of the crates that's lying around, and you kind of stumble, and you like stumble into Goldie.
Oh God. Okay.
And Suri's, she gave her whole speech already. It kind of interrupted. And hey, and like everybody kind of tenses up. And that's going to tick another possible thing. And then also, that's going to make it possible that Bear might lose it. And actually, because it's a desperate situation, I think we're going to have to put 2 tick marks on.
I'm going to be right back because it sounds like the baby woke up.
Oh no.
Well, I think the bear's losing it. The bear cub, at least.
Oh, because Rosie woke up. I think the cat opened my door, so it's possible some of this Foghound's shouting awakened her.
Oh, yeah. Do you want a couple minutes to deal with Rosie, or?
I'm good.
Okay.
If you want to do something. I think
Yeah,
Kate might be able to hear us, but not talk for a bit.
Okay, well, Ogre is going to decide that enough is enough, and so he's going to basically he's going to use his drill instructor voice, and he's going to get loud enough that maybe some other people from outside of this area might actually be able to overhear him, and he's just going to say, "All right, that's enough," kind of thing, and then and he's just going to try to get everybody to shut up for a second, and kind of bring things back to a more even keel, and say essentially, we came here on good faith because we don't want to start a war in the docks. Now, you can either shut up and listen to what we have to say, or you can piss off and we can go back to doing things the way that we were going to.
I think that's legit, yeah. Nice. So you're using command?
Yes.
Very cool. That's a very dramatic thing. So that's actually like, he's like yelling so loud, like maybe one of the workers, like, loading refined materials, ghost rock onto this giant engine, like glances over idly. Like, oh, what's going on over there? Anyone sneakily hiding in one of the catwalks definitely heard that. Go ahead and make your roll. So this is a desperate situation. The effect will be standard.
Okay. And I am also going to I'm gonna push myself for extra dice and I'm going to use Not to Be Trifled With, and basically
Wait, what?
Yes, and what I'm doing with Not to Be Trifled With is basically as a further way of getting everybody's attention, is I'm just going to punch straight through one of the crates, making a big racket and drawing everyone's attention to myself.
I think that's a bit of a stretch for Not to Be Trifled With, honestly.
Okay, I'm not sure what your vision was for the crates and stuff, so.
I don't think that'll give you potency in this situation.
Okay.
You could do it just as like a narrative push. Yeah. I would allow it just as like part of the narrative, part of the narrative push. You could certainly punch through a crate, because you're so manly. But or just so strong. But I don't. That's not going to give you. That's not going to raise the effect in this situation.
Okay, that's fine.
Because Not to Be Trifled With is a very physical focused ability, and does a lot in that situation.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to apply to command.
No worries. Alright. Then I will leave it where it is. I'm assuming Suri can't really do anything to assist me with this one.
Suri can probably assist you with this one. She was already trying to get them to sort of the negotiating table, and you're just trying to calm, just like get everything away from like a physical confrontation, at least, so we can just talk without all of this nonsense going on. So I think Suri would probably want to assist.
I just don't know what I can specifically.
You don't know what you can do to assist his command? We gotta...
What?
You don't know what you can do to assist his command?
Not really. I'm... Yeah. But I'll assist.
I'm sure we could come up with a way that you could if you wanted to. I mean, because he's like punching through a crate and he's like, everybody, stop this. We came here in good faith. And you could kind of like just raise your hands and like, hey, I'm not a physical threat at the moment kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, even just kind of making the implication of they can either deal with you or they can deal with me.
Right, good cop, bad cop.
Yeah,
Sure.
Exactly.
That would explain the one stress cost. All right, you want to assist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And you already decided to push yourself, so a 6.
That's 6. Hooray.
And a good thing too, because another desperate situation failure. Actually, probably, yeah, that had a lot of bad potential. The 6 is a good roll to get it this time. Very nice. So I said the effect was standard. So that is going to lower the tick marks on the negotiation with the Foghounds. It's not going to change anything with Bear. But he will... Bear's clock, I mean. But yeah. Bear will, like, physically, like, step back and fold his arms and just be kind of steaming behind his beard.
Okay.
And at least you've stopped the shouting and the more physical. Like, Goldie kind of picks himself up, dusts himself off, and frowns, but seems fine. It was obviously just a stumble, not a physical attack.
Yeah.
So you successfully averted disaster in the meet with the Foghounds. Now they're looking at you. And in the kind of quiet that ensues after your successful command, the Captain Margette Vale looks over at you guys and says, "Fine. But speak. Tell us what your proposal is to make up for the cash you stole from us and the business you've taken away."
At this point, I will give the floor to Suri. Now that everybody's
We might need to give her a minute.
Take a 5-minute break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, 5-minute break to deal with the baby. Oh, but man, we're almost done with the. Oh man, we're almost done with the session. Dang it. Well, maybe we can go. Can you go a little bit late, Corey?
I can go a little bit late, but I'm waking up a little early tomorrow for my flight. So I can't go too late.
Okay. Well, I'm only thinking like, oh man, we might need 5 minutes to kind of wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But like 12:30 would be pushing it for me.
Yeah. So. Oh, okay. Well, we won't go that late then. Yeah, I have to get up tomorrow too. But hey, let's see what's happening in chat. Kenny had a suggested score. Ooh. Yeah, we might use that, Kenny. The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood. The man with no screen name says, "I'm sure chat would be down for baby stream." Yeah, but I'm not sure if the baby is down for Twitch. She is sad right now because she's awake. And it's not the state she wants to be in. Talking about PvP between members of the group. Yeah, I mean, I think, Kenny, it really is something that you kind of need to clear early on in the game. What's the level of conflict that you're going to have between player characters? I think it can really make people uncomfortable and not have fun if their character is just in conflict with the other players' characters all the time. And then, like, if something, like, if there's, like, if one of them kills one of the others, a very, very high level of conflict, that can just leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a lot of games. Most of my games have not really had a lot of PvP involved in them, but I have played in a few that had quite a lot, and really the most important aspect to that is communication, of making sure that both players who are involved in the PvP are okay with that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, but also, like, it can be hard to kind of, because there's a lot of emotions raised in the moment. Like, ideally, you want to work this out ahead of time. Like, what's the level, and with people that you've played with for a long time, you tend to get a sense of what they're comfortable with and what they're looking for in the game, because it's a different style of game.
Yeah.
When there's inter-party conflict. And it's best if everyone kind of knows at the outset, like, that there's a possibility of this and they're okay with it, or they would rather, not have that, not deal with that. Because, again, like, people can feel a lot of pressure if you ask them, like, oh, hey, are you cool with this? Like, in the moment, because they feel like, they don't want to ruin the story or whatever. It can be hard for people to admit that they're uncomfortable with it.
No, I agree. It's not something to bring up in the middle of the session. It's something to bring up beforehand of, if our characters are going to interact this way, there's a chance that they come into conflict. Is that okay, or do you want to tone that down? Is definitely the best way to handle that, rather than just being like, I'm going to attack you. Is that okay? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's something that as a player is actually not a bad thing to just do. I think, just to be kind of like, but again, like, you want that to come from the players. Like, if the GM has to step in, then it kind of raises the stakes.
Yeah. That's true, but it's also worth noting that under the right circumstances, PvP can be a lot of fun. Like, there have been, I've been in several games where there would actually be times where the GM would deliberately, again, after communicating that this would be the case to the rest of the group, he would actually deliberately create multiple mission objectives that were contradictory to each other and having certain people end up going up against each other.
That's interesting.
The classic example of, there was a Dark Heresy game that I played in 40K,
right,
playing as an inquisitorial retinue, and I was playing as an assassin, and one of my friends was playing as an arbiter, basically a police officer. And we were given some downtime for her during where we weren't working for the Inquisitor directly. I took a contract to kill the mayor of a local city, and my friend took a contract to protect him because there was an assassination threat. And it wound up being this awesome game of cat and mouse, but it only worked because we were both okay with the fact that we might have to fight each other, and Dark Heresy being the game that it was, there was a good chance one of us would kill the other.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely an example of really high level of inter-party conflict.
Yes.
And yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, but again, like, it only is fun because you're both kind of on board for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If one of us was not comfortable with that, then we would have had to just find a different avenue for things to do when we were on that mission.
Yeah, and it's good that like the GM just like sets that out ahead of time, like, or not just the GM, but everybody as a group sets that ahead of time. Like, yeah, we have an uncomfortable alliance, and we might actually come to blows even, or even kill each other if we think it necessary. Yeah, I mean that fits the world, but I mean, I think like that level just wouldn't work in, like, for example, this game, Rare Imports.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's some inter-party conflict, like you guys aren't like you're just constantly in tune about everything. But it's a pretty low level because you have enough problems.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm also playing in another game. It's a D&D game where the 4 party members are a warlock, a necromancer, a paladin, and a good aligned cleric.
And you're the paladin.
And I'm the paladin. And when the group got together and we were introducing these other characters, like the guy who was playing the necromancer openly said, like, hey, I'm going to be playing a necromancer. Here's how I'm thinking of making him a quote-unquote good guy, but I want to make sure that's okay with the people who are playing the paladin and the cleric,
Right.
because he didn't want that level of inter-party conflict. And so we worked together to come up with reasons for why the paladin and the cleric wouldn't just want to attack a necromancer on sight.
Mm.
And because we talked about it and we were open about it, we were able to create a really interesting dynamic between the characters, where now the paladin kind of sees this necromancer as someone that he needs to protect from himself, that he's walking a dangerous path, but he still has a chance of redemption, kind of thing.
That has a lot to do with like the kind of paladin you choose to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's definitely possible to... Well, I think a lot of people don't necessarily go down that road with the paladin, and kind of get this idea of a paladin as like this inflexible, totally one note kind of character who really only thinks about like one thing at a time. But I think that it's definitely I think it's more interesting to kind of have a paladin be like a good person who can see shades of gray. I like that saving the necromancer from themselves kind of take. That's a great way of... I mean, is the necromancer character evil, or do you not know?
So far, he hasn't presented himself that way. This is kind of a world where a lot of magic has just kind of sprung up on people.
Yeah.
And so the way that he's described it is that his character was just a normal person, and then all of a sudden he got magical talent specifically for necromancy. And he absolutely hates the fact that he has these talents. Like, he hates the idea of necromancy, but he also recognizes that it's his best tool for dealing with the world that he lives in. So he's kind of adopted a fight fire with fire mentality.
Well, that sounds really interesting. And yeah, good. We were talking, Suri is back. We were talking about what level of how to handle inter-party conflict, like when you and Ogre were arguing, and even coming, all the way up to the much higher level of coming to blows between party members, and how you want to set that up ahead of time as like a possibility so no one's blindsided. But now that you're back, Suri, we can jump back into this game. We are pretty close to finishing tonight's session.
I know.
So let's see how this goes. But
hungry babies wait for no man, especially when they are teething. So.
All right, but let's jump back into this. So everyone, it's kind of a quiet moment. Everyone kind of calmed down from the very almost coming to blows point that they were at. Ogres just shouted, like, everybody, calm down, we came here in good faith, etc. You have an opportunity to speak. Margette Vale, Captain Vale, just looked at you guys and said, I am, so tell us how you will be compensating us for stealing our cash and our business. And then maybe we can make a deal.
I think that a few things should be made clear first, if you're willing to be patient with me. Firstly, we have actually a great debt to owe you already, which is that we realized very quickly after coming to blows with your organization that we did not wish for it to escalate any further, and as a result have entirely ceded control of any smuggling operations which we were previously conducting. There are different things which occupy our attention now, and therefore I certainly hope that you will recognize that we are no longer a direct threat to you, at least your business.
She kind of looks impassive. Goldie is nodding slowly, like he's listening. Bear is just glowering at Ogre and the hole in the side of the crate that he punched.
Right.
You can feel the heat of the incinerator door kind of beating on your face from a few paces away.
Additionally, we would like to complete this in as good a faith as possible, because I think that we have some potential benefits to offer you and our mutual friend in the currently ongoing war that the Lampblacks are engaged in, which only serves to hurt all of us. The friend of my friend is my friend, and all of that.
She says, "Ain't it usually the enemy of my enemy is my friend?"
Well, yes, but you can certainly make some corollary assumptions.
I see. Well, if you wanted to do something about the vultures, we might be able to overlook the actions that you've taken against us. Or something about the canal patrols of the Bluecoats. Then maybe we might even actually start to believe what you say about not being a threat no more.
Absolutely. My goodness, if I had known that you would be this generous, I would have set up this meeting much sooner.
She says, hey, she says, don't misunderstand me or assume too much. Geez, you really like to grab a mile when I give an inch. She says, you owe us. Let's be clear on that.
It was understood coming into this meeting.
She raises one eyebrow. All right. She's still kind of just trying to size you up. They all are. They all kind of have the same pose, too, of just these folded arms and kind of pissed off expressions. They've clearly spent a lot of time at sea together.
Okay. Ogre will speak up much more quietly this time, and he's just going to say, "These vultures you mentioned that you wanted dealt with. I assume you're referring to the crows?"
She says, no. I've got no quarrel with the crows in particular. I'm talking about the vultures. The crew of the Vulture. They also have a certain amount of business overlap with us. We can handle them on our own. We don't need your help. That's why I said the Canal Patrol, that's a bigger deal.
Well, I think that we've disrupted the Bluecoats before. We may have an idea of how to offer you some assistance here.
All right. Go ahead. I think that you're making a consort roll here.
Yeah.
Are you trying to, like, get more details or make an offer?
I'd like to make an offer.
All right. So go ahead and try to consort. I think that's what you're using. And you've lowered the situation from desperate. But it's still quite possible. Well, yeah, I think this is actually controlled now. After, yeah, this is controlled now. Basically, if not for Ogre getting a 6 on that command, this would already have gone south. Yeah, I think that's actually controlled. The effect will be standard. No, you know what? Go ahead and say what you're going to say before I set this.
Okay. Alright. So I say, I didn't mean to imply that you're giving more ground than you are, only that I understood that we owed quite a debt coming in, and that it was generous of you to even consider my suggestion that we postpone indefinitely any further conflict between us. I think that it would only be in both of our interests if the Bluecoats were disrupted, and therefore we would be more than happy to take this on. I have a few scores of my own to settle with them, and it will be nice to have an excuse. That being said, I think that perhaps this would be something of great value to you. It would enable you to free up a number of your resources and focus on paying back insults that are worth paying to the vultures.
Bear speaks up. Bear speaks up, and he says, the Canal Patrols, specifically.
Of course.
All right, go ahead and make your consort roll. Yeah, I'll stick with what I said. This is controlled, and the effect is standard.
Okay.
What?
Devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain. Oh boy. Um. The devil's bargain is that Bajo Baz doesn't want the canal patrols disrupted right now.
Huh. I'll push myself.
Okay. Stressful.
Ogre will also assist you. He's just going to say, we've just managed to deal with a raid from the Spirit Wardens. Dealing with Blue Canal patrols will be a piece of cake.
Okay, that's a 5.
Oh, the most interesting result. Okay. Sorry, what was Ogre saying as his assist?
Yeah, Ogre said that we just dealt with a raid from the Spirit Wardens. Dealing with Blue Coat Canal patrols will be no problem. Basically, kind of implying that we're not only way up to the task, but also way out of their league in terms of if they wanted to try to fight us. Doing a little bit of double play there.
Nice. Okay. Well, the consequence here. So Captain Vale will nod and say, that is of interest. And it might go a ways toward making things friendly between us again and assuring the Foghounds, me and my crew, that you are as good as your word. But it ain't gonna do nothing to repay us for the coin we lost from your overbold little operation where you took our stuff. If you will pay us back for that, she looks around at her and her fellows. I think 3 bags of silver pieces might do the trick. Then we will accept your offer, I think. Or at least we'll talk it over. Bear kind of...
Ogre is going to kind of laugh a little bit when they talk about the goods that were stolen, and he's just going to say, "You mean those damn demon teeth? We did you a favor getting rid of those. You didn't have to deal with the curse that those caused on the area."
Are you trying to reduce their price?
Yes.
Alright, sounds like an action roll.
Yeah, probably. And I'm kind of thinking it's consort because I'm literally saying that we did them a favor.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of coming at it from... So what you're saying, by using consort, you're kind of coming at it from an attitude of, we're all criminals in this together. We're all poor people, not the high and mighty. As opposed to sway, which would probably be more effective.
It's more of a consort. It's more of a, believe me, you did not want to deal with the headache that loot gave us, and it was on the verge of being your headache instead, kind of thing.
All right, this is going to be risky limited.
Okay.
I'll assist you.
We did you a favor with those demon teeth. Yeah, the demon teeth led, after being activated by the demon Karakhan, led to a bone curse, in which the players' characters all grew teeth and bony protrusions from all over their body. So, bodies. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
I would like a devil's bargain.
Okay. Devil's bargain will be... The devil's bargain will be that the source of those demon teeth has a connection to one of the crew of the Foghound.
I don't think I want to deal with that source, so I think I'm going to pass on that.
All right.
I am, however, going to push myself for effect, so it'll go up to standard.
Gotcha.
And that's a 5.
All right, the most interesting result. I did say it was risky, didn't I?
You did.
Okay. The Foghounds look at each other. And the effect was standard. She says, the captain says, fine. In that case, you, the blood of your from your friend's face activating our nail trap, plus 2 bags of coin will suffice for the business lost in our cash. And we'll make a deal. You'll disrupt the canal patrols of the Bluecoats, and we'll breathe easier for a while. And things between us will therefore be improved. Goldie smiles, as does Bajo Baz's representative, who has been standing in a corner in the shadows this whole time. We'll say there's one other member of the Foghounds that's also nearby that also looks pleased at this result. from the coin that's to be shared around. However, Bear just looks as though the sound of your voice is grating on him. Make a note. Next time Bear sees you, he is not going to... He is going to do something. He's going to make trouble.
Got it. Next time Bear sees me, he'll regret it.
Somebody's going to regret something. All right. And, yeah. So, she says, so, is this acceptable to you?
Certainly.
All right, then.
Ogre will just kind of nod with Suri.
We'll expect delivery of the bags of coin no later than 3 bells tomorrow. She taps her captain's hat. They all kind of stand up from the crates. Basho Baz's representative kind of points to like 2 different exits for you guys to take. And with that, your score is completed.
All right.
A score that leads into another score. So make a note that you have got to disrupt the... That was cool, guys. I don't know that we've ever had a score like that before.
No, we haven't. That was really interesting.
We've got to mollify the Foghounds.
So, I'm also making a note. My initial thought of the best way for us to do this is to frame the red sashes so that we can get something out of Basho Baz for this too.
Frame what?
The red sashes.
Ah, nice. We're going to try to frame the red sashes for disrupting the canal patrols. Because, yeah.
We get into war with the next version of law enforcement.
Yeah, that would be bad possibly as well. Okay, well, we are going to try to wrap up the session quickly here. So let's quickly do XP. Ogre, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Address the challenge with violence or coercion. I feel like that happened when I took charge of the...
You did command, yeah. All right, that seems pretty appropriate. Go ahead and take one for that.
Okay. Expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Definitely came up in the conversation with Suri.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that dealing with Ulf Ironborn, I feel like that was kind of, his big reason for wanting or for being willing to pay some rep to satisfy this guy. Like normally, I don't think Ogre would have given that guy the time of day, but he felt bad about the fact that what he did with the Skovlanders ended up hurting more Skovlanders, basically just giving the passports to a guy that was fleecing people.
All right, taking 2 for background and personality.
All right. And then struggled with issues from your vice or traumas session. Definitely struggled with my trauma when I was dealing with Sira.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot easier if I was able to deal with the fact that ex-wife's husband or boyfriend was hanging out. But
yeah.
Had to
so take one for the demon of range that rides your back.
Yeah. And then the other thing was that I definitely made things the way I was talking with Bear at the beginning of that session. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely. him just being angry at the fact that somebody would dare to challenge him in this situation.
Yeah.
Just left it with what Bear was trying to throw at him, but he went back tit for tat.
I felt like that was more of Ogre's personality, really, than... because he didn't let rage take over. And it didn't really lead to coming to blows. So I don't think that really was a trauma XP. Yeah. Alright, is that it? For you?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, Suri.
Alrighty. I addressed a challenge with deception or influence, and that I think is definitely true. I mean, that was this whole, both the interaction here and the interaction with Baza was just me trying to talk my way out of things.
I mean, you did it twice in a big way, so I think take 2 for that.
Alright. And then you express your beliefs, drives heritage, your background. Again, I think that did come up a couple times. First, obviously, getting involved with Lord Penderin and acceding to his weird request. And then also, or no, maybe that'll be struggling with issues from my vice. I don't know. Well, at the very least, the whole conversation I had with Ogre was very much like, she was very deeply offended by him doing gratuitous damage to the ghost when she was trying to be persuasive and kind to her.
Yeah, that was a big scene. So yeah, take 1 for that.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting scene.
Yeah,
okay.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got at least 1 for that, and then I don't know if the Lord Penderin scene is that, or if it's struggling with my bite.
The Lord Penderin scene. I mean, that was more struggling with issues arising from your vice. Than anything else. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where it was.
Yeah.
I think it's the same number of XP either way, so it doesn't really matter where.
Yeah. I guess the question is whether it's worth 2, and I don't think it is. But I'll leave it up to you. What do you think?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is either I get 2 for expressing my beliefs, drive, and heritage, or I get 1 for that and 1 for struggling with issues from my vice.
Yeah. So do you think Suri's beliefs, drives, heritage, and background came up like in a big way, like twice in this session, and she really, pushed her character forward in that way?
I don't really think so.
Okay, so 1 for that, but 1 for the vice thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's do the crew.
Execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation. No, we didn't do that.
Oh, I forgot to give you guys some rep for this, though. Hang on. You didn't get any coin out of it. In fact, you had to pay coin. So you don't have to pay the tithe.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll take the last coin from the crew and Ogre's last coin as well to pay what the Foghound are asking.
Okay. And you already paid Bajo for setting up the meet, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you're gonna get 2 rep. Let's see. I think this might have been a 0 heat operation. You're first.
Well, if it's 0 heat, then we don't get any rep.
No. It just was very, very smooth and quiet. I think we'll give you 1 heat because you had to shout your command. And it drew attention to the fact that there was some kind of criminal meeting happening in this refinery. So we'll give you 1 heat for that. That's definitely the lowest heat you've ever gotten.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But that's probably a good thing when you're about to go into... Well, the next score you might do is possibly against the police. So, that might be interesting. All right, we're going to do the crew XP.
Yes. So, execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation.
No.
Contend with challenges above your station.
No.
Really did that. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Not really.
Not really. Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature.
Yes.
Yes, I definitely.
Oh, yeah. Inner conflict, absolutely. And just some of the goals and drives absolutely came up. So, yeah, take 1 for that for sure. All right. Well, that's it. We're going to call it now so we don't hit the 12:30 mark.
All right.
Thank you for playing. That was a lot of fun, guys. A short and sweet little session.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Awesome. Good night. Thank you for playing. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, viewers on Twitch. And have a good one. Oh, absolutely. All right. Turning off the stream.